Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one is entitled, Are NASA Mars Missions Real? Now NASA has apparently just landed another Mars rover on Mars. But is NASA telling the truth, or are they again creating another fictional mission like the ISS mission, which is actually filmed on Earth, as if life on the ISS was a soap opera? Evidence that astronauts on the ISS, or actually on Earth in a set, can be seen in several ways. This is one of the photographs that clearly show that these are not astronauts in space. And as you can see, it does seem to be some astronauts on the ISS, and this would be the front of the station. But as you can see, the window was left open. And notice that their shirts have been purposely pulled up in order to make it appear that they are in zero gravity, but yet the window was left open. And so they cannot be in space, because then they would have no oxygen to breathe. It would all have gone out through that window. So these are not astronauts training on an ISS simulator either, as they are clearly doing everything possible to act as if they are in space, to the point that the race shirts must be held up by some fishing wire, and that would stop their movements. Why would they go to that extent to pretend that they are actually on the ISS, unless they are actually actors pretending to be on the ISS? And you may look at Article 411 entitled Connection Between NASA and the Secret Space Program for more details. This image is actually disclosure of the fact that there are no astronauts on the ISS, and they may not even be an ISS in orbit. It seems that NASA likes to fake things and then tell the world the truth in ways that most will not understand. As NASA then disclosed that the Mars rover is not actually on Mars, well, as it turns out, is there anything stopping them from placing a robotic-looking piece of apparatus named Mars rover in some desert on Earth and then photographing it and playing around with the images to make it seem like the Mars rover is on Mars? Have they not done that with the moon landings? If the images and video we saw of the moon landings was real, then why was there no blast crater from landing under the craft? And who filmed the craft taking off? And here's a photograph of the previous Mars rover. But is it possible that the terrain seen here is actually on Earth, not Mars? And here is another photograph from the previous Mars rover, but we see a riverbed here. This looks like a riverbed over there, which actually seems to have water. You can see it's bluish. This looks like a river. But Mars does not have riverbeds with water, so this cannot possibly be a photograph taken on Mars. The terrain here seems to be quite rocky. You can see lots of rocks. Yet there are several spots further back, there you are, that seems to be smooth, not rocky, and bluish, which would indicate that there is water on the ground. But there is no water on Mars, so this image can only have been taken on Earth, not Mars. So they take the image, there's actually water on the ground, they add red color, so that sort of hides the fact that there's water there. But at the same time, they're disclosing the fact that this is not on Mars, this is on Earth. And here are two images side by side, show what happens when the extra red color is removed from images which NASA says are from Mars. It shows what seems to be an Earth landscape. Is that because NASA lied about what Mars is really like? Or is it because the image was taken on Earth and the extra red tone was added to make it look like it was an image from Mars? Well, the other problem with actually landing a probe on Mars right now is that the solar system is filled with debris from the Planet X system. And in particular, the Earth seems to be surrounded in this debris, which keeps coming into the atmosphere. And you may look at articles 447 entitled Increased Planet X Dust Entering Atmosphere and Creating Red Skies, and article 460 entitled Planet X Increasing Effects on the Earth, Pink Fog, Fissures, Gigantic Rogue Waves, etc. There should therefore be some difficulty in getting a spacecraft through all this debris into space, and upon reaching Mars the same problem would be encountered, as the same debris will almost certainly also be affecting that planet. In addition, the sun is no longer shining, and there is only light in the Earth's atmosphere because a global sky simulation system is in place. You may look at article 388 entitled The Sun is No Longer Shining, Sun Simulators Replace the Sun for more details. Unless the same system is in operation on Mars, there would be no light from the sun there either. However, since the stellar cores approaching Earth emit light once they have absorbed atmosphere from the Earth, it is likely that the ones reaching Mars will do the same, in which case several regions of the planet would most likely be illuminated by bright colors such as pink, red, yellow, or orange. But the color would be different in different regions depending on which stellar core is over which region. And you may look at article 448 entitled Planet X Cores Red Skies in Australia, pointing to possible cataclysmic events. And here's a red atmosphere scene from Australia. This is from November 21st, 2018. You can see there is lower visibility. So this seems to be luminescent fog, and the fog is emitting red light. And this would have formed as a result of water condensing around Planet X dust entering the atmosphere. Here's another photograph. This one's from 2009, where the authorities would usually say it's a sandstorm or a dust storm. But as you can see, there does not seem to be any dust at all. Visibility is quite good. But there's only this reddish, orangey red color illuminating everything, so that even the leaves, which are supposed to be green, actually look red. Visibility is quite good, so this is likely to actually be a stellar core illuminating the atmosphere from its captured atmosphere, because it's captured from the Earth itself, and then that atmosphere emits light due to the energy transferring process that occurs between Earth matter and stellar core matter. Its captured atmosphere can be called a coma, because these objects are basically comets. Now here's a screenshot from a video by Planet X News entitled Planet X and Counterintelligence Operative J. Trigg and GCHQ, What You Need to Know. This is from November 23rd, 2018, and it shows a NASA scientist explaining why it is important to send missions to Mars, i.e. so that we can find out everything we need to know about Mars. And then she says, so that we can get humans back to Mars. Well, if the purpose is to get humans back to Mars, since there used to be a base on Mars with lots of humans living in it, why don't we already know everything we need to know about Mars? If she knows about people living on Mars, how can she not know about the data that must have been collected by those humans on Mars? And if, as many have stated, the human base was destroyed by aliens, why would you want to send more humans to Mars, since they would most likely suffer the same fate, especially since NASA does not seem to provide any type of weapons with which they would be able to defend themselves against aliens keen to destroy human bases. And here's a screenshot from CNN reporting on the Jet Propulsion Laboratory mission control for the latest probe landing on Mars. This is from November 26, 2018. Now, the mission control specialists appear to not be paying much attention to their screens, appearing to be more interested in smiling and talking to each other. And for the cameras, you can see they're all smiling and talking to each other. They're not that intent on watching to see if the probe makes it to the surface of Mars, do they? So their roles appear to be quite unnecessary unless they are simply paid actors. Whatever data shows up on their screen is not ever seen. They appear to be acting rather than concentrating on a technical job. Now, this is the only person telling everyone what is happening. We do not see any data, and she could simply be reading from a script on the screen. And here we can see this man making surprised facial expressions as the probe was being reported to be about to land. Seemed to go out of his way to portray a feeling that the landing might go wrong, and then showed his elation as it apparently landed with his full body. This is not how you would expect a technical specialist concentrating on his job to act. This is how you would expect an actor to act in the absence of any ability to show any actual data pertaining to an actual landing on Mars. This seems to be the actions of an actor, not a technical person. Once the touchdown is declared, the mission control specialists seem to make some practice jubilation movements, and they all then abandon their stations to celebrate. But if you have just landed a priceless piece of machinery on a distant planet, do you not make sure that everything is working as normal? Is this a time to abandon your post to make childish gestures? Well, apparently it is, because they are all actors. In conclusion, the fact that NASA is known to fake everything and then disclose that fact through images which clearly detail the fakery suggests that NASA is not sending any missions to Mars. Images supposedly taken by the previous Mars rover seem to show Earth, not Mars. NASA may therefore be landing Mars rovers on Earth and pretending that the landing is being done on Mars. Most likely, they are not landing anything at all and just simply paying a group of actors to pretend that they are mission specialists. The mission then entails acting out the landing of a probe, and the cost entails paying all those actors. And those are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.